I can speak 11 South African languages. I'm not sure about Hindi and India if I can speak their languages. But
11 South African languages includes sign language?
No.
Okay. Meaning you are short with sign language?
Yeah, a bit. I understand a bit of it, but it's not at that level. Sign language should be the 12th, though.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Then do not sort of a vendor and every tribe that has tuned in. Welcome to another special, tongue-tuzzling, marvelous, elegant, beautiful show of Celebrity Couch Edition. And ladies and gentlemen, the making of art and visuals continues today with the son of one of Venda greatest superstars, the chairperson of Black Leopards, a businessman and a father. Ladies and gentlemen, Tshifhiwa Thidiela. Welcome to the show. Sir. How are you? I'm okay, man. Thank you very much for honoring the invitation. This is a pleasure to have you in the podcast, man.
No, it's my pleasure.
And I must say I'm very grateful because your schedule has been very, very, very busy. We had to postpone twice, if not mistaken.
Yeah,
we were supposed to shoot on Monday.
Yeah, obviously we are servants, so you know time is always of the essence.
The perks of being the chairperson.
I don't know if you would say it's the perks. I think it's the burden of being a chairperson.
So why don't you leave it if it's the burden?
Because we are here to serve. You know, you need to have purpose and you know, as long as you are doing something.
Oh,
and for some people, then you should be happy and fine with it.
Speaking of people, look at it, they want you.
No, it's fine. They'll wait.
Now it's my time.
Yeah.
No worries, man. When our researcher was doing research about you, of course, even myself, I did some research on you on the internet. There was nothing beside the obvious thing on the internet. The obvious thing, I mean, what people know you for, football and the other saga. Yeah. Your life is not out there.
Yeah, I think naturally you also need to be able to differentiate the two. I think it's also a weakness that you find a lot of so-called celebrity tend to struggle with. To say you are unable to take off your celebrity hat and, you know, take off your shoes and relax and say, no, I'm just Tshifhiwa Thidiela, it ends here. I think it's a struggle that a lot of people have. But also it gets even more of a struggle because it's heavy being a celebrity, because you must remember there's a lot of expectations from people. There's a certain way they're expecting you to be. Now you find pressure to try and be like how they're expecting you to be. And there's millions of people. Now think about it. You're trying to satisfy the expectations of all the people out there. That's why then it becomes a burden. But what I think I've mastered is to separate my private life to my business life or my work life, which is good, because I'm the most confusing person, if I can put it like that, to say people I've had a lot of people who never met me. Some say, they say so arrogant, is what, but then you find when they meet you, say, Ish, I want to confess something. I thought you were like 1, 2, 3. I said, but when you judged me, you had never even spoken to me.
How about you're so chilled? I knew you were chilled the day I came here with Venda Boy Poet. Surely you didn't know me then. I think that was 2 weeks back. When you were entering the hotel room and you greeted him. And I was like, oh, that guy is very chilled. I thought he was someone that is very, very stiff and, you know.
Yeah, I think also based on obviously how I was brought up and how I understand that I am what I am, or I have what I have because of people. There is a story or a thing that I always tell people to say, think about it this way. You can never be a king or a chief of a village if there's no subjects.
Yeah.
So it means your dependency of being king or chief is dependent on the small people who are on the ground. Now it means if you cherish those, then it means you are set.
Your dad gave you that wisdom, or you just learned it along the way?
I think life, but obviously what most of the things that I do will be because of my father. He worked in Johannesburg. We grew up in Johannesburg. He had some business in Joburg.
That was after he resigned as a police person?
Even before. We worked as a police person in Joburg, and then worked for the league. Then he had some businesses in Joburg. Now, Fortunately, our main business that we had was petrol station, where you have to interact with people, you need to serve people and things like those. But the question that he asked, that's even how we ended up having to go and have business back at home, black leopards and things like those, where the question he said, you know, I can see I'm serving people here in Soweto in Johannesburg, but what is it that we're doing for the people at home? You understand?
Yes,
so that's the kind of thing now that was instilled in me, to say, you know, whatever you do not forget the community, especially the community where you come from.
Okay. You did mention about being a celebrity, or how people see you. Can you say you are famous or you are a celebrity?
I have no idea. I don't even know what that means. And I ask people to say, when you say I'm a celebrity, based on what? When you say I'm famous, what am I famous for? It's not like I'm a singer or an actor or whatever. You know, I'm just a regular Joe. And even people who see me, they know me, they get surprised. I mean, the place we are sitting at, I actually own this restaurant.
This restaurant?
Yes. Wow. And you find that my staff will laugh, because I'll ask and they say, you know, I just want brown bread with peanut butter and tea. Oh no, fry me some eggs, let me have arch and pap. And they're like, no, Mara Kanjan, you can have prawns and what. I said, no, but that does not give me the satisfaction I'll get it from there. Give me my shonje and pap, that's my meal.
And by the way, we are coming live from Meropa Casino, Pulokwane, and Chief Thidiela just said he owns this place. This is massive, man. Meaning you were behind choosing these people to be the brand ambassador
of course, when that boy will tell you how he got to first come to Meropa and all that.
Life is not what you know, but who you know.
Of course.
Okay, we'll get into that, man. I want to first get to know you more, and people, of course, want to know you more. I have 5 questions that will at least make us know you more. First question, early mornings or late mornings?
Very early.
Early mornings?
Yeah. My day is complicated.
Okay.
Because I work 24 hours. I'll probably sleep very late. I will wake up maybe at 4 or 5 because the phone is quiet. I can get on my laptop and I can do some work for like 2-3 hours. Maybe 7 o'clock. Then I can take a nap again, maybe wake up maybe at about 8-9 o'clock again. So it continues. Also depends on days. This past week, I was out of the country. I came back on Wednesday. Wednesday night, I came back to Polokwane. Friday, I had a comedy show. I also ran conferencing here.
And comedy
events,
show?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So I did pop-ups on Friday and Saturday. So Friday night, we did a pop-up show until I think we had an after party. I also ran an entity called Jembe. It's like a nightclub just inside here. So from the comedy, obviously we had to go to Jembe for the after party. We stayed there. Jembe closes at 4 and people leave at 6 or 7 in the morning.
That's where Donald were performing?
Yes. Oh, okay. They also came there. So when they were there, 4 o'clock, 5, I went to bed. I had to wake up at 7 o'clock, drive to Tondo. Now, you know, there was the Royal Heritage Festival. I went to the Royal Heritage Festival.
You're one of the sponsors?
Well, we assist. I think the owners are friends. We've always been there since, we were talking, I think 12 years ago when the first Royal was done. We were there, I think they were opening the garden, Mr. Nesengane and Mr. Ragimani.
Yeah.
They are close friends, and we obviously will always assist and support our local products. It's a big product that we are all proud of. So I went to Royal. I think I left Royal at 5 in the morning, got home at 6. I woke up at 8. I had to drive to Pretoria because I had a match in Soshanguve. So you can see that there isn't really time. So I had to try. I think the day that I really slept was Monday evening, if not yesterday. That's when I could actually sit and say, you know, let me take some decent time, have a 5-hour nyana to sleep. So days are like chock-a-block. Things are like moving.
So why don't you just get yourself a private jet instead of driving from Venda to Pretoria, going back?
I think
you have the money.
If we sell, no. If we sell black leopards, maybe then we can get. I am not there. I think the person who might have money would be maybe Mr. David Thidiela, because he funds a lot of what happens at Black Leopard, seeing the money that he's taking from his pocket to put into Black Leopard.
Well, tell him to buy a private jet. I mean, he got himself a Rolls Royce. I mean,
yeah, but he's worked hard, and we encouraged it, and said, you've worked. Why don't you enjoy your money?
So the waiter who came here and told me that they're gonna open at 12. Now because I'm with the boss, they can't open.
No, obviously we'll serve people, they'll open. There's big enough space, so they will.
But until we are done, no one will invade this space.
No, I mean there's other spaces.
Okay, thank you, sir. Number 2, endless money or endless love? It's a tough one, eh?
No, not between the choices. Okay. I just think I would say endless happiness. That's why I was taking time to think of it.
But
because
it's not
because let me also explain.
Okay.
You can have a lot of money and be unhappy.
Yeah.
You can have a lot of love and be unhappy. So my primary requirement is happiness. Even my prayer, when I pray to God, I pray for happiness. Because happiness is a feeling. Now, like I said, you can have billions of rands and be unhappy. Now, it makes everything zero. Now you can have people who love you to the moon and back. But if you're unhappy, it amounts to zero. And love is even worse, because if now we're even talking love of relationship, the people that love you are not the ones that you want. That's how relationship goes. The person that will do anything for you, you don't prefer them, you prefer another one. And now they don't prefer you, they prefer another one. So you see there's big complications with that.
I once had a conversation with one of Venda's greatest artists. I won't say the name, of course, because we are recording. I will tell you afterwards. But he told me that when I decide to marry, I should go and marry someone that loves me
more. Yeah,
not
that loves
the person
you
that
more.
I love
yes,
more.
If you want, yes, you must always be with somebody that loves you more than you love them.
That person was saying that because he's saying he's not happy in his marriage. One of Venda's greatest artists. I will tell you afterwards.
Yeah, so marriage, I think marriage is very tough for everyone. I think one, it's because of society, that we do it based on society's standards and society's expectations. You don't do that which we love. Like me, I was making an example to you about eggs, acha and mashonja. And I said that is inward satisfaction. That's what makes me happy. If I eat that, I will be fulfilled. But you find that now I'm sitting in Sentin, now I want to have caviar, I want to have prawns, I want to have whatever. Whereas I know very well that this does not make me happy. I remember we went to some party, we were sitting in the lounge, people are sitting there, there's moe, there's verbs, champagnes, and there's some females there, they are sitting, sipping glass. But this one girl, you could see she's been holding that glass for quite a while. Then she just goes sip a bit, but she's holding. But every now and then she disappears. How? Only to find out that she's going around the corner to go, she's put some savannas there, she's drinking savannah. But because of the pressure in front of people, now she wants to have champagne, look like, I'm also having champagne. But what really, really makes her happy is savannah.
It's the kind of life that we're living.
So that's what becomes then a problem in marriage, to say, now, because she's light-skinned, there's a rumor about me where I only like light-skinned girls. So now you go because she's beautiful. If she's beautiful, what is benefit to me if my woman is beautiful?
So, meaning those people that are saying you like light-skinned ladies, she fits the criteria.
She's hiding. Let me see. Do you have a dimple? She's got a dimple. She can tick some boxes. Teeth, skin color, dimples. It's just small particular things.
Number 3, what is the most frequently used emoji on your social media or WhatsApp, to be specific?
By me?
Yes.
I hate emojis.
But I'm sure there's one that you always use?
Nah, there isn't, eh? Tell you what I've done. I am very particular. When I write, like now these days, people will write Tshifhiwa and start it with a C. I don't. When I write and I write a question, I will use the correct punctuation. If it's a question, I'll put a question mark. I will make sure, and if I forget it, I'll put it in the next line, say question mark, so that you are actually clear. So I'm not a photo or shortcut kind of person. I want to be detailed. Also because when I send a message, I want to make sure that it is clear and one understands. You know, you don't have to read between the lines. I say it like it is. And when somebody says something that I'm not clear, I will ask for people to be detailed and say it. But sometimes when you ask a question back, some they take it as arrogance, or some they already think that there's something else that you may be implying. But that's why I don't think I use any emojis. Maybe I think one that you could send is the love one.
Of
you
course,
can
that's
send
obvious.
one of the kiss.
That's obvious. That's obvious.
I think those ones.
That's obvious.
Yeah.
Number 4, if you could save one material thing from fire, what would it be?
I'm not attached to anything, eh?
Not even your phone?
Yeah, well, the good thing is about the phone now. I remember back then, if my battery would die or I wouldn't have my phone for 120 seconds, I would have anxiety. Now I can just leave my phone. Actually, I can even have it and it's ringing and I just leave it. I think I've grown now to that extent where you don't need to worry about. Now also, you don't even need to then worry about information that is inside because things are in the cloud. You can just go get another phone and still have the same information. So there is nothing that you can really worry in to say, material. I'm going to take you back to say, focus still becomes happiness. So material things and earthly things, they don't really move me.
So backing up stuff to iCloud, that's a cue to tell people we should use iPhones.
Yeah, well, I think even with Google, you could put things there and all that, no?
Yeah, Mara, the main point is they should use iPhones.
Yeah, well.
If
you like fruits.
A whole week without internet or a whole week without TV?
No, I'd die. I remember when I'd move houses. Before they bring a bed.
Just houses. This was from Centennial to Centurion.
Not even. When I'd move, before they move the beds, the first thing I'll make sure is that I've gotten an installer for DSTV and make sure that my TVs are functional. So both become then important to say at this day and age, then with my laptop, if I've got internet, it means I've got access to TV. I told you I was away a few weeks ago. Funny enough, the place where I was staying, there was no TV. But I think maybe the company covered for that because I didn't really even notice it or worry about it. The only time I put on my laptop was because of the Rugby World Cup that Mapokopoko was playing. And then we had to watch that online. But otherwise, I think it's getting to a point where we can live without. But between the two, obviously, TV can connect you to other things. And the internet, if you've got it, means you can connect to TV. So I would choose the internet.
Oh, I get you. I want you to briefly explain who Tshifhiwa Thidiela is. Because as I said, there's nothing on the internet beside the fact you're the chairperson of Black Leopards, which is the obvious thing.
Yeah, I think I was born 1977 at Donald Fraser Hospital. That is in Bufuli. Called it Goldville Village or something. Where I think I attended school up to standard 4 or 5. Then I left in 1989. I moved to Soweto to stay with my dad at Protea North. In between some years I moved to Joburg. I think we were staying in Pinville then. I went to a primary school called Farisani Primary School in Zone 4 Pinville. In Bufuli, I went to Bufuli Primary School. Actually, we started at Chadzume Primary and then Bufuli. And then later in high school, I went to Reashuma High School, that is in Protea North. After some few years, moved to Kliptown High School. It's a colored area in El Dorado Park. Then moved to a white suburbs in Winchester Hills. That's where I went to Sir John Adamson High School. That's where I actually completed my matric. Then we moved. We were no longer staying in Protea North. We were staying in Winchester Hills. Went to Varsity College in Randburg, where I was studying marketing. Then started working while I was still at varsity. Even at high school, I'd work. My parents have a garage in Zone 3, Diepkloof, where then I started working as a petrol attendant. Then I think I started at 16.
Part-time, of course.
Yeah, and then would work as store merchandisers, would work as cashiers. Eventually we got managers. He got even more garages. I think in Protea Glen had another one. So that's the work that we did mostly. Black Leopards came into being, I think, around 96. And then we used to do some of the stuff, but it was in Vendenau and obviously in Johannesburg. But I was secretary then, and then I became PRO, I think, 2001 when the team was promoted. And we've been doing soccer, obviously, as a PR officer. Even doing a bit of marketing, that's what we did. And also got involved obviously in business, petrol business. Obviously also at one stage I had my own garages as well. But we did quite a lot. I think even with my brothers is a situation where we were doing events. I think events, that's one of the major things that we've done. I think we've done the Miss Black Leopards, the Miss Mapungube, at Univen, we do Miss Univen quite often. We've done many for many institutions of learning. We've done quite a lot. We've been involved in a number of festivals where obviously we assist in certain areas, and some are even ours. But our major issue is events. I think that's what we've done the most. And the funniest story is how we came about into events. I think when I turned 21, we had, back then, if you were in Johannesburg, there's Wits University, there was Wits Tech, which is now UJ. Wits Tech had Doornfontein campus, and it has the other one in Auckland Park. I don't remember what it's called. Not Kingsway. No, I'm not sure. And then you had Rao, which is also UJ. Then you would have your Boston, the Varsity College, and all that. Now you can imagine all these tertiary institutions together coming to attend my 21st. So it was the biggest party ever that anyone could ever thought of. I had another younger brother who was a year younger than me, who had a party over here next day, so we did the same thing. 31st of December would have massive parties, but that one you shouldn't say, because I don't think our father even knows that there was parties at that time.
But then all those people coming to your parties was because of the perks of carrying the Thidiela name, or it was you marketing it the right way?
Obviously being a people's person, and obviously our father having been Thidiela also obviously adds to that. But we are, people's people, and you'd have quite a lot of people obviously then coming. But the way the parties got so massive, you'd find, when you're in the suburbs, you know how the white people are. You find in a weekend they'll come and buzz at the door. Brr, brr, brr. Hey, I'm making a noise. Then we'd open the gate and says, no, come in. And then they check, they find that there's nothing. So the moment there's noise around, they just think, obviously it's at that house. And they'll go
that's
there.
What you were known for.
So then we said, guys, we spend money, we do these massive parties, we've got such following. Why don't we make money out of it? Then my younger brother, Fulu, now I can tell you, provides stage, sound, screens, for this hybrid conferencing things and all that. So we do those. We do eventing, we do furniture hire and all those things. So that's where it stemmed from, to say we're actually doing this very well. let's turn into a business, and that's where it is.
That's the Genesis guy?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I know it. Yeah, it's doing wonders. It's doing wonders.
Mm-hmm.
Take me through the journey where you were growing up back then. How was life back then when growing up?
I think life, from my parents' perspective, maybe, I think, has always been okay. Okay in a sense that we did not lack anything, but we also did not try to have that which we can't afford. I remember when I was still in primary school in the villages where we came from in Bufuli, I think there was only a few houses. I think Achibase, Aramariba, Amafune, Maumela. I think they were the only people who would have had electricity then, maybe even have TVs. And there was that situation where you'd go to one house, maybe sit by the window to see, or by the door to watch. But I know I never did. I just said, at my house we don't have electricity, we don't have a TV, and I'm cool with it, and I touch such story radio. And I do that. So it's something that I felt that it built me, that peer pressure, community or environmental pressure never had an impact on me. So the little that I had, I was satisfied. The reason I love eggs and pap is what I used to eat at one time, and now it's even luxury that I can have pap, eggs and beans at the same time. Back then it's either you choose beans or you choose acha or you have eggs. It was one. But those are the things that I used to enjoy and you eat. You'd go to school. My grandmother, fortunately, she used to work at the market just outside the school, next to the hospital. So I'd buy bread and she'll give me some bananas, and that was, top of the range kind of thing. So growing up, there was never really pressure, and I had option. I mean, my dad was in Johannesburg, there's electricity, there was TV, could easily just go there and all that. But I think my parents did well. My mom was a teacher. I think I was satisfied with whatever little that we had. I never had to worry. You did have shoes to go to school, but you find that other kids don't have shoes. It's okay, you can just leave yours and you also just walk to school just to fit in and be there. But I don't think we really lacked anything. But the experience of going to a class under a tree, I know. The experience of going to the bush when there's no toilets, or the pit toilets at the corner, washing in a basin, having to make fire in the morning to warm the water up. I know. So I've actually lived all the steps, because I lived in a rural area. I went to a township. I've been to a colored township, and I've been to a white suburb. So I've actually experienced it all. But I can still be able to fit. Should I go home and they say, now you're gonna sleep on the floor, it wouldn't be nothing amazing, because we used to sleep on the mat, on Toboni. So you know those things. It's no surprise. Or if you were to go somewhere, you're like, what's this?
Our cousins from Johannesburg. So you grew up, you went to varsity, you went to study marketing. How did that idea come about? Like, why marketing?
I think I've always been interested in it, and you see it when there's an advert on television where you start analyzing and try to check the message and try to see how they came about with things like those. But the exciting thing about it is the evolution about it, where it's continuously changing. I think in marketing even today, if you were sitting in class, by the time you get out of class having learned something, it will have changed. By the time you get out, there will be a new thing that's coming in. So I just think it's something that is not redundant and that's not boxed off in any place. You can actually come up with the new things, and you can always do things differently. I think it also helped me. If you look at Black Leopards, in many instances would do things differently. And at some stage we were even trendsetters, where you needed to think different and not just follow. If you remember back, I told you to say I'm the kind of person who never went with pressure. I'll make an example. Soccer season would end. A week later, teams will do awards and do their awards. But with Black Leopards, it says, no, I'm going to wait until the next season is about to start. then I'll do my awards. Now people said, no, but why? Because I said, no, for me, I do my awards towards the end because one, I wanted to encourage the new players who will now be there to say if we do well, there's this reward that we can be able to get. Secondly, you also want to use it as part of an event. Remember, our location was different. What I'll do, I'd invite media from Johannesburg, pass them down to Limpopo, then they can go and experience Limpopo for a weekend. Now you know the coverage that your awards will get will be massive because all the media is there. It's pre-season. The season is still closed. There's not much news that people can be able to cover. Then you have them also to see you are introducing your new kit, you're introducing your new players, and all those things together. And then you see that it actually worked. Then after, some years later, you find that people were now following that, doing that in that manner.
Strategy. I heard, you guys were also making extra bucks back in high school. Is it true that you used to sell your container just to make extra money?
Nah.
It's not true.
Nah. I don't think so. You mean your lunchbox?
Yes.
No. And we were lucky. I think my late mom would give me a lunchbox and I'd still have money. So you were comfortable, you'd eat and you can still be able to buy something. I think that was comfortable. And I think it also helped us. The school that I said I attended, Rashuma in Protea North, the whole school was standard 6 only. There was only one grade, the whole school. Do you get it? Like there's no 7, 8, 9. Everyone is in the same grade because it was a new school. But it was a school that took kids from Putarushaka, Mambo, Ibongo, all the schools around. Yeah, so all the primary school from Mapetla, Chawero, Protea, all the kids from there went to that school. So we had only standard 6, but it was different. You've got the Zulus, the Sotus, the Xhosas, Vendas, Shangans, Pedis, Tswanas, And unfortunately for us as the Vendas and the Shangans who were called Magwarakwere back then. Yeah. And there was that obviously inferiority complex or looking down on us, which is a normal thing obviously with black people. But because of where I come from and I think where my father was as a person, and I think my mental strength assisted me, was to say, this guy, I'm reminded this because of your lunchbox question. This guy is calling me Lekwarakwere. Mara na chere lunch. I've got a lunchbox. I even have money on top. I actually stay in a double-story house with a swimming pool. Now he's saying Kinna Lekwarakwere. It's crazy, And from there, I never looked down upon myself. I've always been to say, I am me and I'm happy with me.
You always told them, you can't talk to me since load shedding hits. You won't watch TV. I have solar. What's the worst thing that you have ever done while in the journey of marketing, trying to make extra bucks out of it?
I wouldn't think. You mean like an event maybe that you do and then it doesn't succeed, or what?
Any wild thing that you can remember that you implemented it because you wanted to make extra money out of it, because of your skills of marketing?
So I have not, and I don't. The kind of person who does not believe in shortcuts. So for me, I will not want to cut corners. Yeah. So I don't think I'll ever be able to find myself in that situation. I what I've learned with me and how I do things was to say, I'd rather provide quality and not make a single cent than go give poor quality and make a lot of money, because all I own is my name. Now, even in the Bible it states already, so that's how I would operate, to go to say, no shortcuts. Let's cross the T's, dot the I's, and make sure that everything is done properly.
So after you completed your degree, you started working as a marketing, in the marketing industry, or you went to something else?
No, I didn't even finish it.
Why?
And I got, because of events, here's what we would do. You know, at the Institute of Marketing Management, you write exams in May, you write exams in October.
Yeah.
And you come through, and then you see May is coming. And then, remember I said I started working at 16. So it means hustling then immediately started. Then airtime was coming in. Then we started selling airtime. It was obviously airtime was not everywhere then.
In the streets or at school?
No, at the garages.
Okay.
So when that came in, there was more hustling. Now there's events. There's, you know, you find that now you find an event, and May is coming. You need to go to the exam and say, no man, I'll write in October. And then it went. Years went by. We did a few, and there were still some courses missing, but how I consoled myself was that I was already then doing marketing, or in a marketing position already, and coming up with innovations that were even better than those who are coming from school. So obviously that's how I console myself, because I would have really loved to say, you know, I've got this degree of mine, I've done it and whatever. But it was just doing it because you just want something to be at the back to say, you know, I've done it. But, you know, because I'm curious and I learn every day, I think the streets, they're the ones that actually taught me, and I've learned to get to there. But yeah, that's just where it is with marketing.
So after that, there was Black Leopards already. When did you start to be involved in it?
From the beginning. Maybe let me give you a brief story how the Thidielas got involved.
Okay.
And Mr. Matelemusa is the one who was running Black Leopards.
Mr. Matelemusa, the owner of Matelemusa at Makwarere?
I'm not sure, Zakaria Matelemusa. I don't know which one does he own.
Okay.
I know he had a bottle store when we were going to Azingobela there.
Yeah.
And we had some taxis, I think it's in the Taxi Association, where they called, my father was working obviously in the league. He knows people. I think Chico had just left Ria Stars or Swallows. I don't know, there was an issue with them. My dad got Chico to then come in to assist Matelemus at Black Leopards broadcast and whatever they had an agreement. Then there was somewhere where they didn't agree and Chico had to leave. Now I think Matelemus went back to Thidiela to say, you know, your person you brought was not here, it's gone. You need to find a way to assist. Then that's how we got to get involved into Black Leopards.
How old were you at that time?
I was 96. I think just under 20 if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
I think.
So when you guys got involved in Black Leopards, what were you doing? Now you're the chairperson, of course, but back then, what were you doing?
I started as a PRO.
Okay.
Yes. No, actually I said I started as a secretary when we still had only part of Black Leopards. I think that's when, I think so, or 98, that's when I got to be an official. I know we started being involved in, we started to be involved with Black Leopards in 96, and then in 98, that's when we got involved 100%. Then I started as secretary in 98.
And then years goes by?
And then I think when the 98, the team was in first division, 2001, the team got promoted, then I was spokesperson, PRO.
And I'm not sure about TTM, but I'm sure back then there was no other team from Venda. How was the feeling having to own a team in Venda, something that is not normal to other people?
I think it's obviously a great feeling, and not because of lack of others. I just think Black Leopards is a special brand. It has always been, I think it will always be, based on what it has always been. And you know, our main aim is about having it to serve the people. So as long as you are able to do that, the feeling will always be great to say, it's good that we've made a change in someone's life. You walk in the road today, meet CEOs of companies, they say, you know, I'll always be loyal to Black Leopards. When you ask why, it says, you know, my mom used to sell at the stadium to send me to school. Those are then fulfilling things that you know that there's a difference. You find a young boy from the villages came through Black Leopards, we exposed him, and you find him playing for Bafana Bafana or playing for some big teams. Those are the kind of satisfaction that you always get to say, you know, we have done something and we've actually contributed something for this person to reach somewhere. So that's what it gives you. And it will always be that, because the focus, like I said, it's always about the community.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. When you guys got it, was the slogan already there, or you guys came with it? Little that do?
No, we brought it. So we actually, even the logo changed. Even after we got it, we created a logo, and then we even changed it. I think the logo was actually designed in London. We had
the one that you wanted to use.
No, the one that we have now, the new one. We had one, the logo was initially round, but the little Duba was there. There was some leopards. I think there was even a ball in the center. Then the current one that we're using was designed in London. If you know, for the better part of our life, our technical sponsor is Ambro. And Black Leopards was sponsored by Ambro International, which is in London. So we went in 2005. We had a concert for Black Leopards in New York. There's a place called Harlem, Apollo Theater. If you follow the arts, it's one of the most iconic theaters, where we had a concert for Black Leopards, where we had T.I., we had Ja Rule, Trick Daddy, Fabulous. I know Lil Kim was MC, you know, concert for raising funds for Black Leopards. What we did with Ambro was to say, let's sell Black Leopards clothes around the globe. They were actually selling them anywhere around the planet, where you would buy Black Leopard stuff, but with the proceeds that they'd receive, will then take the money and give it to charity. So was Takarani Special School, watch it in they're the ones who actually benefited from that. I know it was not big in the country because we were targeting international, but it worked very well for us, because I would find, I think this guy was Eduardo. I was told by Mr. Mkhaladi, the chairperson of Polokwane City. He says, you know, I found this trainer, coach coming from Brazil. I just collected him from the airport. Now, I know we are driving back to Polokwane, and I'm asking him to say, yo, so what do you know about South African football? And he says, yeah, I know Little Doma, you know. And he even had a shirt for Black Leopards, and it comes from Brazil. So it means that really, really worked for us to say people in other countries, overseas, you know, the brand really, really reached them because of that exercise that we did. I mean, if you find us chilling with people like Bo Fat Joe, you know, the real Fat Joe in New York, thing. And I mean, I even went with, Fat Joe. Yeah, where when we were promoting the concert and you're sitting with these artists, you know, in America, they take autographs very serious. And you find we go to a place, we sit there, there's police, there's actually a queue of people waiting, coming there. So now there's Ja Rule, there's T.I., Fat Joe, and then me there in the middle. You know, I even still had those dreadlocks and all that, you know. So I'm sitting there and, you know, I'm just signing thing, and they, you know, even ladies, they're like, are you from Africa? Are you from Africa? You know, and then that's how big they took us. I mean, we went to Fox News, we went everywhere. So the brand has been big, not only in the country, but outside, and making a lot of impact for people. Obviously, our aim, like I said, is to say change people's lives.
How easy or how hard was it for you guys to build the brand of Black Leopards to be what it is today?
I think, I don't even think it's about us. I know my dad built the foundation, and not only for Black Leopards, but for football, maybe in the Vembe region in particular, where you find that back then, there was no official matches, but my dad will bring Chiefs or Pirates to come play at Tando Stadium in the off-season. I think that's why also there's a lot of people who would support Chiefs there, because they've seen it. I mean, people of Bufudi village can tell you that they've seen Ace Ntwaleng and Teenage live, you know, because he'd bring them and they'll come to his house when they are coming to play there. But the basis of Black Leopards, it's the people, the teams in the LFAs, the team in the lower leagues, or their love for football is the one that then propels our teams to say, or because they love football, they will always support the big teams. And obviously, with a team like this that they could really rely on, remember teams used to come and go. And now this one managed to, to stay and sustain for a much longer period. And people are attached to it. Hence, they were fighting to say, once it was relegated, to say no. But we need to have, this brand cannot just disappear. So it's about the people. I think it's just the people of Bembe that are special. I was telling one person on radio, and they were saying, yeah, because you think you have money, you think you can just buy your way back into football. And I said, if it was according to me, I would never even go buy another team, because money goes out, it runs out. But I could rather sit here and sell cabbage and beetroot, that I know that money, when it comes in, is going to remain in my pocket. But because of the people in the community, we need this team to be alive. We need this team to be there. But not only that, it's not the same. Do you want to have a team that is playing and winning the league in front of stands only? Or do you want a team that plays and is packed and it makes a difference in the community? So those are the things that we need to look at. And I said to them, we're going to have champions of champions, the SAB third division playoffs. And I said to him, the stadium will be packed. And yes, it was packed. It's the only place in the country where you can have a third division match and you have the stadium packed to capacity. So success of Black Leopards, I'm not going to go take and claim that it's me or my marketing skills or whatever. We did bring a difference. We did create a way, but it's the people of Bembe and their passion.
Because you were doing it for the people.
Definitely.
I get it, man. You were telling me about how hard it is to run Black Leopards. The money that you're using, people saying what they think, which it's not how they see it. Break down for me, or for someone who is out there watching, for them to understand the daily things that needs to be done in order to make Black Leopards what it is today.
I just think it's difficult because soccer is a game of opinion. Everyone can say what they want and how they want, and they think the way they will do it is the same. It's similarly like a Meropa kind of situation where with your mouth you can just say anything. Anything is possible from your mouth. But when you then really go into it, you will see that it's actually very, very different how things really are. So it's for you then to say, to run football, like I said, there's no profit. It's not a business. I think Dr. Ivan Kosa even calls it a puni business, where you just invest money and you get nothing. Everybody else around you makes money out of it, but except the owner. But for us, I've said we've got our drivers, our passion, and that's obviously what drives us to continue to be able to get that done. Obviously, you obviously need quite a lot of stuff. You also need to manage quite a lot of things, especially you find you've lost a match. Sometimes you start pointing fingers. Sometimes you think things must be a certain way. I've always told our coach to say, my team or my lineup always wins. Every match they win. And they win because my lineup that I make, I'll probably make it after you have lost, after the match was finished. You should have played Musette instead of so and so, would have won. Or you should have done this like this and that. But mine doesn't get tested. The coach's one has to go and play against someone. So it's the same thing as running a club, that somebody can say what they think it is on the outside, but inside it actually requires a whole lot of things. Obviously, because now we're at a rebuilding stage, we need to obviously look at having enough people. Your office needs to be functional. There are certain things obviously that will require me as the chairman. You can see the players sitting outside waiting for me. There's certain things that obviously they need to come by my office, but it's a collective effort. Like in the field of play, you need 11 players. Even in the office, you need different players who can be able to assist and say, you know, here's what this one will do, this one will do that, and all that. So that's the gist of it. But it's exciting. I think it's an exciting environment. It's a place where I'm at peace. I've told you I like happiness, and I think football brings me happiness. You know, you get that satisfaction. It's just like events. You know, you do a festival, you see 20,000 people. You know, sometimes you leave from the back and you go outside, and you'll probably be dirty because with preparations, you won't even have time to go change or be what you call. And then you go into the crowd, you find people are reveling. Some they even push you to say, "Hey, other bandilana man, you know." But you get excited to say, you know, people are happy and they're happy because of me. You know, you've actually done something. So it's things like those.
And that goes to my next question, because you also made an example of people that are always loyal to Black Leopards because their mother used to sell at the stadium if he's playing or something like that. What does it mean to you guys, the fact that other people grew up selling or from their mother selling from the stadium? What does it mean to you guys as a team?
Obviously, that's the satisfaction that we get. That's the reason why we would go spend money and say, let's lose money. At least there's people who are actually benefiting from it. I think that's what creates that excitement for us to say, you know, this we can be able to continue to do because people are getting this. The little that we've done, when we started, even with people around, we said, I don't want you because you support Pirates to leave Pirates and come to Black Leopards. You can still support Pirates, but because you are local, I would like you to support us when we play against the other 14 teams. You can go to Pirates the day we play Pirates. But then that's how we managed to get support. Say the Chiefs people, the former Pirates people, they will. Some left and they joined us. Obviously, if you are a Pirates guy and you watch Black Leopards 14 times, and then the 15th times is Pirates, chances are you will be, you know, you will find it happens a lot with Kaizer Chiefs. When you're playing Chiefs in turn, though, if Chiefs is to score, you find the whole stadium will go up. And then Black Leopards go to score, the same people go. So for me, I said it's not a loss. If you are competing or you are sharing people with people who are then successful, it's a good thing. Some they were even accusing us of colors to say, no, it's because Thidiela used to support Kaizer Chiefs and all that. But even though obviously the colors are linked to the Leopards colors, but we are just the unique one, or we are a Black Leopards.
It is alleged that for a team to win, you have to use a muti. Do you believe in muti or hard work?
So the question that I would ask is, if that muti was there and it was working, wouldn't we have a team that wins all the matches?
I don't know, but that's why I said it's alleged.
No, but I'm saying, when you're told something, we also need to analyze before you follow something to say, if I use this, I'm going to win. They need to have proved it to say, if you use this, you're going to win because so and so used it, and this is where it is.
Or maybe it's because it doesn't win because the other or the opponent is using strong muti.
I see. So then it means you have no guarantee.
Yeah, I get you. So you believe in hard work?
Obviously, are you saying, or if we say players mustn't train, come Sunday, we've got muti, let's go play, we're going to win? Oh, better yet, let's get 11 Nyangas to go play.
I get you, sir. The fact that those guys are here, does it mean that your office is it after President Paul Kruger?
No, we've moved the president at General Jupet. The Black Leopards offices are actually also here because we are here. We also going to have our training grounds inside the property here. There's also some developments, obviously, that will come so that everything can be closer and in one place. Yeah.
How did this partnership come about? Because you said you own this restaurant. I'm sure it's not the whole premises.
No, not the casino. My responsibility is actually just food and beverages on the property, conferencing and events.
So what? You bought the shares or you came with the idea to build this?
The restaurant has always been there.
Okay.
It belonged to Sun International.
Okay.
Then they outsourced it to some other people that I also then bought it from. I mean, now where I was involved a bit was in the event side, on the conferencing, where I do my events. I've always done my events. I think Miss Black Leopards back in 2000. My birthday parties I've always done. I think in my 40-something years that I have, I've probably done 10 of my birthday parties at Jembe, which is here in the property. I've done our launch for Black Leopards. I've always done them in the thing. I've got some properties like the Spedi Music Awards and stuff that we've done here in the hall. So because of the events that I used to do, then I got involved with Sun International as well. And then that's how, when I started doing events, conferencing and all that, then it came, then there was an opportunity to buy shares into the restaurant. And then I bought some shares. I ended up buying all of them, and you know, yeah.
Ah, beautiful. That's beautiful. Ah, which one do I mean? Beautiful, my friend. I wanted to ask you, them coming here, of course, you have to accommodate them, or it's just them coming here for training, or that's also part in the pipelines?
It's there. The problem that the team is based in Polokwane.
Fully based in Polokwane?
Yeah.
Okay.
All the officers and the players and the training.
Okay.
The players, obviously, some stay at their own places. There are a few who are still young that can't afford to get their own places that we assist, and we get them a place that they're still staying in here. But the issue that becomes a concern, you know, some people say you play your home matches in Tondo, but you're in Polokwane.
Yeah.
It probably have an impact. Polokwane is not as hot as Tondo. You won't manage when you get there. But the sad reality is that Bembe does not have facilities. There's no training facilities. If you can check TTM, they were also in Louis Trichardt. I think VFC are also in Louis Trichardt, because there's no way where a professional team can be able to find facilities to be able to train at, which becomes a very critical area to say if you don't have any training facilities that are proper, it becomes difficult for you to win a match, because if preparation is poor, what are you expecting to give out as a result when the test come? But it's something that we're definitely working on. I have spoken to Thobela Borabova at Morenje. I think we are very close to doing some sports facilities that we can be able to start doing some development, not even for senior teams, because, you know, for people to be right, we need to start them at a young age. We're going to do that, I think, together also with the University of Venda. We are on the verge of finalizing our agreement where we'll also do development, and we're not going to do development for soccer. We want to do development for sports. Our reason being that you find there's a youngster, he's not very good at school, he's not very good with this, but he can run like crazy. Now we want to be able to enhance that so that we can get the new Mbudaini Muraudzi kind of thing, because sports, you can make a lot of money. Actually, sports people are the highest paid people. So if we can have proper development and we can be able to develop kids from our community, then we'll be so happy.
With the state of how the youth of today are behaving out there, people who are into drugs, people who are doing some things that are out of way, what are you guys as Black Leopards doing to make them stay away from all those things and focus on the good things like doing sports?
Exactly what I just explained now. That's the reason for that, because now if you left school, you went to training, you ran, you are tired. When you get home, you're going to eat, sleep, and you're just going to eat the bath, obviously, first. Sleep, eat, and sleep. You are tired. You won't have time to be thinking about other things. So it's to keep kids preoccupied. That's what I'm saying. For us, it's not only going to be soccer. We'll do all different sporting codes to make sure that kids are busy. And I don't know why government doesn't see it to say lack of leagues and activities and things to happen. I mean, schools don't have sports like we used to have back then. You knew on Wednesdays, or, you know, there was leagues. And it was even exciting when we were in rural schools, knowing, or hey, on Wednesday we are driving, we're going to play Kokaika, you know. So that's our contribution, where we are experts to say, you know, let's go push people through sports. and make sure that you will. But because the lack of anything, that people are just loitering, they're sitting, the only thing they'll do is drink, and it looks fashionable, but it's also influential. Remember, when you see someone that I know, and you can see he's up there, people get encouraged to say, no, let me also do it. So those kind of things.
The fact here that you guys chose Polokwane to be the place where you will do your training and everything, are there any aspirations in future for you guys to make Pitamkawa as your home ground?
It is one of them.
Okay.
We are allowed to register 3 venues.
Okay.
We've registered Thohoyandou, registered Malamulele Stadium, and we've also registered Pitamkawa Stadium. Even though obviously mainly we'll play in Thohoyandou until you don't want to move around a lot because you lose that home advantage type of situation. But yes, we will definitely, when we are comfortable, we can then send some matches here to say, let's get to our people. Ibile now, we live in a global village where you've got people all over. But most importantly, Black Leopards is a team for Limpopo from Bembe. So we need to be able to cater for all the people of Limpopo.
Besides Black Leopards, Meropa, what other businesses are you running?
Obviously, the events. For a printing company.
Okay.
We're making clothes as well now. Initially t-shirts like yours would just brand it.
Yeah.
But now we are even designing them from beginning. There's a new way of making things where now there's sublimation, dye sublimation and all that. So we're actually doing quite a lot of that. We do vehicle branding, actually any kind of printing. We do the signages here, LED signs and all those things, those kind of things that we've got a company that does that. And another side, like I said, for clothing. But the rest, we do it ad hoc. We were like Indians at some stage where you say you want it, we can make it.
What about Madiatawa? Are you part of it or not?
No.
Not at all? Not at all?
No.
Okay.
What is Madiatawa? It's a place in Louis Trishant?
Yes.
No. I think our family's got a farm along the N1. I think that's where we used to do some events, weddings and all that. We'd obviously do catering as well. Even before, that's why we got into the restaurant business, because of the catering background. But we do events, and from events, we can do events from A to Z. So anything that's event related, we are able to do that.
Someone might be wondering, you grew up in a family business. You grew up having your father as a family, as a business person. Can you say one can become a business person from learning at school or from implementing whatever that they might be aspiring to do?
Both. You need both. You need school. You'll also need the streets to teach you.
The street is the key.
No, that you'll need school and you'll also need the streets to teach you. Like I said, especially when we were talking about marketing, to say you find that what you've learned in class, by the time you get out, it's no longer relevant.
Yeah.
So when you are in the street, you are able to go and learn and to say, here's where it is, here's what we can do, and here's what we have.
So now this is your free time, you are resting, you are not doing Black Leopards matches or whatsoever. What do you do in your free time?
I don't know how to spell free time. There is no such. Remember, football runs every week.
Yeah.
And when it closes at the end of May or June, now you need to be looking for players and preparing for the new season. So it doesn't end. I've just explained a weekend that I've had, to say some events I even had to run. Our Pops was running 2 days. I could only attend Friday. Saturday, because of Royal, I had to leave for that. So that's where obviously there's no real free time. But what I do, I make sure that my kids come. Like if I'm here, I know sometimes I spend 4 days without going home being here. So I'd call my kids, say, come, let's at least sit with them, have lunch. Or sometimes they come and I say they can stay over here. At least we'll be in the same space, and when I get little time, then I can get to see them. So it's also the reason why I said the team must be here, so that my things can be
in
closer in one place where we are able to deal with them. Like, now I'll be done with you, I can see them here. I don't have to then move and say I'm running to guy, type of situation. So yeah, that's just the way it is.
Oh, okay, I get you. I want to wrap this with an IQ test, man. But before I get to an IQ test, can you say you have made it into this business industry or not? And what do you say so?
Yeah, I think decently. I don't set low standards, but I'm satisfied with what I have.
Maybe at 100%.
Where I have been, I think, way over 80. Yeah, I also get satisfied. Remember, it's also not even competition or comparing to anyone, and it's about how many people one has assisted. I know with most of the events in Limpopo, I would have been involved some way or another. And assisting is not even assisting by saying you've got an event and say, no, man, contract me to do 1, 2, 3. I'd actually come to help, to say, let me help without actually looking for money, because blessings, that's how I believe they come. I help you, somebody else will help me. And I don't help you expecting you to help me back. It's a domino effect where I'll help you, you must help somebody else, somebody else will help me. That kind of situation. So there is that satisfaction, and there's that achievement that I felt, all right, we've elevated and we've grown and we've gone to where we are, and appreciate and thank God, obviously, for whatever that we've managed to achieve.
Are you one of those people that don't check airtime balance? You just call and you will realize you don't have airtime when it runs?
No, I don't know how to check airtime. I don't know. I don't have airtime. My younger brother got me a phone.
Okay.
That's got unlimited airtime.
Yes, sir.
So he pays for my telephone.
Not you pay for it.
He does. I said, you help someone helps you. So he helps me out with the phone.
Okay.
Even the phone, he bought me a phone.
That's one. The Genesis guy?
No, one of the twins after him.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, man. Are you currently married now?
No.
Do you have any aspirations to marry? Or to date a celebrity again?
No, celebrities is difficult. You want to have, if you were to marry a celebrity, you need to be able to find someone who can be able to take off their celebrityness. I'm the kind of person who, I've got some cars now. I've got a car, let me say.
Toys.
But I wouldn't,
just say toys.
No, a car. But I wouldn't mind getting into a bus to go somewhere in a bus or a public transport. I think just last year, our guys were gone to Mpumalanga. There was cars there, and I was in Johannesburg. I went to Park Station. I got into a bus that was going to Mozambique. I got off in Bombela, and I didn't have a problem with it. I can leave my car. Well, now it's even fancy. I wear Uber, and then I'll go with Bolt Go. I don't have a problem, and I can be able to use that. So I'm able to be me. I told you, I can sit here, go to a fancy restaurant, and still want the most simplest things, and want your eggs in bath. So yeah, like I'm saying, marriage, I think it's beautiful. I love family, I love kids, and I love to love. I go in hard, but I know what I want, and I don't do fake, and I will not do something because it's done like this. This is like that.
So we are youngsters. What can you tell us? Because of course we want to get married one of the good days.
I think you need to focus on that which makes you happy.
Okay.
If you can focus on what makes you happy, you will do well. And let me explain it to you. What makes you happy is not necessarily what society perceives as the right thing. The moment you can be able to do that and say, for me, it's this one, then you will be there. Then it also comes with, because society, it loses us a bit. There's a saying that it says you must give more expect less, you will always get more. Now, are you able to go do something for your girlfriend and end there? Meaning, can you go buy something for your girlfriend and say, this I'm buying for my girlfriend because I'm buying for her. I'm not buying for her because I also wanted to do 1, 2, 3 for me. And you should not come tomorrow, no matter why you like this. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for you. So the moment you get to can be able to do that, then you know you are doing it because of you and because of the love that you have. But secondly, you must also be able to ask yourself to say, because nobody's perfect, right? You go and look at what you don't like about her and say there's 1, 2, 3. Can I really live with it? Because I'm not saying tolerate it, yes. Because you will tolerate it only for a certain period and then fuck this shit. Until then you accept that she's like this and I don't like these things, but I can live with it. Genuinely. Then you know you have no problem, because when she does that which you don't like, you can just say, the mpengo wanga man. It's alright. And then you can live with it. Then the happiness that then your partner must bring to you. I'll make an example. Men don't like going shopping. Women do. Can you go with your woman and do that shopping that you don't like and enjoy it?
And they take long.
So you need to be able to go shopping with her and enjoy it when you know you don't like it. Then you know you are there. Because you get to find a way to say, I hate shopping, but because my partner is loving it, I'm happy and I'm enjoying it. So get to go do that which you don't like and enjoy based on your person. Then you can marry.
You got that down, eh? Now that you're not married, are you dating someone or are you doing tenders?
What is tender? No, I do have my bank book is what I call it.
Tessa.
Yes. I don't know if you know Mdu song.
Oh?
Mdu song.
Yes.
Oh, love man.
Oh, yes.
Oh, sweet man.
Yes, I know it.
My bank book. So when we grew up in Soweto, my bank book means your rechte, your main woman.
Yeah.
Yes, they are called my bank book. Yeah.
So she's not out there in the people's eye?
No, not even. She's not even in the province.
Levels. No, I get you, man. IQ test. I have 5 questions now. I just want to test your IQ. This is just for fun. Okay. Are you ready for it? Okay. Question number 1. What has a tail and a head but doesn't have a body?
A tail and a head. Not money.
I'll be specific.
Coin is got tails and heads.
That's
no?
True. Question number 2. How many days in a week ends with Y?
Yo. Not all of them. Huh?
I'm asking you. You can ask
all,
me.
Eh? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
You're in a race. You're in a race. You pass the person who's in position 1. What position are you?
I'm in a race. I pass a person who's in position 1.
Yes.
Definitely not 0, but I'll be.
You will be?
I should be first, no?
Of course. Question number 4. What is the opposite of now?
Then.
Okay. Number last. Mpumalanga is found in which province?
Mpumalanga is in Mpumalanga. It's in Mpumalanga. It's the province.
You got them all.
And the person comes from Mpumalanga, so I would know.
Chief Thidiela, thank you very much for honoring the invitation. I really appreciate it, man. One last thing that you want to tell our viewers that maybe I didn't ask you?
No, I just think, people should not give up. People should not, I think the one thing, it's not even about me, especially guys at home. People cry about jobs. People cry about government not providing. I don't think it's an issue about government providing. It's about us standing up and say you want to do something. And let's say if you come from a village where I come from, instead of just sitting in a corner at the bottle store drinking, you can go on a Diterako garden and sell spinach to the people. There's so much that we can do. People are crying for land, but they don't know what they need to do. There is land. There is places at home you can do your own garden next to the river. just get water and be able to do that. You know, start somewhere. Get the people in your community to buy from you. We can be able to get things done. We can be able to make change. I think it's an issue of mentality. I've had so many people whom would actually go and find a job in the office where they say, you know, they are paying you 4,000 or 6,000. Mara, you find that there's a job where you can start your own market and earn 10,000 a month. But just because you're going there in a tie and air conditioned, you'd actually choose that option, which is actually not good for you because growth is limited. So I'm just happy there's a paradigm shift now where we're taking TVETs more seriously, because Tshifhiwa is one that's for the dumb ones. But that's where people who are from there, they can actually do things and own their own businesses. Unlike just going to university, acquiring something that you are not even good at and wait for somebody to employ you. There's things that we can do. There's so many services. I've got a guy who washes my sneakers. I've got a person at home who assists me with washing, but I sent to that guy because I feel he became innovative. He says, I'm not going to sit and not do anything. I'm gonna go find something. You know, the service industry is so big. Some people now, even checkers have realized it now, they're delivering groceries to home. There's so many things that people can be able to come up with just to ease off people's life and be able to make money out of it. So I'd like the youth to be that innovative and not say, yeah, we're waiting for Cyril, whereas it must be us by us, and we must be able to make that difference.
Or we just like procrastinating.
Yeah.
Oh, I get you.
And lazy though.
Now I understand the fact theory. You said you decided, although you're not a person who does interviews a lot, you decided to do this interview because you're helping me to uplift myself, of course.
Definitely.
No, thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it, sir. From myself and the rest of Masters Podcast team, Naradzaba Twitter, Mushad. MURN ice. Drink it cold.